So, Barnblitz is a pretty straightforward engineer map. There's pretty much two standard holds on the first point. First one is in the barn. And usually put it here, maybe like here. Somewhere around on this corner. The spot covers the point, of course, and not much else. You're pretty much not going to do anything until they get the cart pushed up into here. Does keep people from running past through this area as a flank and then trying to get behind your team, I guess, but that's not that big of a deal. Still have people watch that, so whatever. Problem with this spot is that you're kind of stuck in here, so what'll often happen is the other team pushes and then kills a significant portion of your team, or you get forced out or whatever, and you try to run out, and while you're running away you get sniped or killed by the soldier or whatever. So last season, a lot of teams started putting their sentries over here. This does not actually cover the point, but since your combo holds up here, it denies bombers, and that's about it too. They'll spot anything that comes around back here, of course. Main advantage of this one, other than the whole keeping the space safe for your combo, is that it's much, much easier to get out before you die, and that's pretty important on payload maps. The barn, usually put a dispenser here. If you hold in here, you might want to put it out here or something for your combo, but I usually would rather have it in here because when you're in here, you'll usually be in with a scout or a soldier or something, and they can use that too. It's actually sort of like playing the flank on a 5CP map, except with a level 3 sentry. Oh, telly spots. Down here. Up here, maybe. Stuff like down here. Nobody's gonna really be back here. Teleport isn't super important on the first point because your spawn is literally right over here, and you're probably not gonna hold for that long, so your team won't need it very much. A lot of people seem to forget that this exists, but you can go through spawn here until the first point is capped. It usually goes up here somewhere. How you put it kind of depends on how the other team is going to be peeking at it here. Back farther gives it less of a hitbox up there to spam, but it gives it a little more vision closer.
I'm moving this.
And then over here, as opposed to over here where the dispenser is. And so like the demo or soldier are going to have to walk farther out to actually spam it because of the whole way view models work being on the right side by default. I've seen this spot up here used. I have never used it myself. Pretty much covers this whole stairs here, and pretty much up until the vision of sight around here. About as far as you can see the sentry. Shouldn't be too much trouble as long as you have your team up here with you. The sniper can creep up here and shoot at it. Or shoot at you, but I don't know. Put in the right spot, this dispenser can completely block off the stairs from the spy. And I did do it right. But it has to be very precise. Here's where I put the tele usually. If not there, you could probably put it like back here.
Teleporter coming right up.
This hold in general is pretty strong. The main thing that's going to take it down is spam from down here pressuring you while you're trying to build it up. You're actually more in risk of dying yourself to this just because pipes will go straight up there and you'll have to dodge them, or stickies will drop here and then you can't stand anywhere in this area without getting splashed. Up there, which I don't think I can get up there with the map set up how it is, but the soldier will sometimes get up there with the direct hit or the sniper and they can take the sentry down pretty fast. And then there's a spy who, if you put the dispenser up here, has very few options. He can pretty much only come up here, or kill the dispenser, or come through a teleporter. If the spy does get up here, he will either uncloak in here because nobody else will be in here, and he can just walk out and stab you pretty easily. I've had that happen to me on pushes and stuff when I'm here wrangling. Or he'll uncloak up here, and if he does that, most of the time he'll be going for somebody in the combo just because they're going to be holding closer down here and you're farther away and not as big of a target as a medic or a demo or a heavy in general. Guys will go for you, I guess. This is a pretty straightforward hold. Yeah. When the sentry, or when they push and your sentry goes down and you need to back up, usually go out to here. It's a nice little escape. This point. This is probably the most varied point in terms of sentry placements, because of how big and open it is. Here will more or less a standard spot. It'll cover the cart and all. The other team will try to get it by Ubering somebody up here, or up on top of that thing, or a soldier, sniper, whatever, getting into the building up there and shooting at you. If sniper does get up there, there's not much you can do about it other than hide behind your gun and wrangle at him and hope that you can kill him or your team can deal with him before he lands a shot on you. Here, this map was sort of, the pro version was sort of designed with the sentry spot in mind because they got rid of the boxes that are here in the pub version.
Packing up.
Do not know if the spectator can see, probably not. Sentry as it is only covers to about the door right here, so the people hiding in here you would need to wrangle to get at them. Don't like this spot very much just because it's kind of in the open and you're kind of vulnerable and it's kind of difficult to build. You're reliant on this path kind of far away. Spy can come out through here really easily and get you if you don't have like the pyro or somebody in here watching for you. But lower level teams have a harder time dealing with this sort of thing.
Packing up.
I think that's... no. You can also build on this thing. The only real advantage this gives you is that it's easier to avoid taking damage from stuff and you can run out through this way. Holding the standard spot here, it's really easy to get locked in here with a couple stickies, or just trapped and unable to leave without dying. And this point, more than any other point in the map, is really important that you back out alive and start building on last, because it is Barnblitz last and you're going to hold it for 10 minutes. Alright.
Building the
Sentry will either be up here. Really?
Yep.
Really?
The pit takes another victim.
Okay, sentry will be up there. Or back here somewhere. They're by spawn. This area. All these spots are pretty safe. They're both right next to the spawn doors, so if you get pressured at all, you can just walk in there and hide until it's done. Oh. Keep forgetting this is not like a real map. You can switch to the rescue ranger and heal it up while they spam at it and make it last much longer, take a lot of their fire.
I'm moving this.
And when the sentry does go down, you just go back and spawn and switch to gunslinger and come out and spam many sentries until you either lose the game or the push is over and you have time to rebuild. Here again, you're a little more isolated here. So if you build up here, okay. Forgot health cabinets don't give you ammo here either. Dispenser. Spy can crouch, jump over it, and so can you. But it makes him take an extra second, and you should be watching your back here anyway. And you'll see when he's there. Same as the last one, you can walk into the spawn here. Just the rescue ranger, or hide, or go get switch to the gunslinger. Very, very easy to do, but it's kind of easier to avoid damage here because you only need to walk back about here. You'll be safe. It's a little harder to get set up there, I think, because it's a longer walk to spawn and you can't get to that thing as easily, that middle. So, oh my god, really? You like churn cheats on so I can no-clip out of this?
I could turn SUV cheats, I guess.
Or I could take it like a man.
I'm gonna do this a lot, I think. I'm not very smart. Some quality penguin marches right here. There we go. Now I don't have to go around for metal either, that's useful. The main thing about this hold is you as engineer are not the main instrumental thing to it being a good hold. What makes it a good hold is that there are so few ways in here, even with the updated thing, and they're very choke pointy, and it's very easy for your team to fall back and form up around your combo like this. You get the high ground too, automatically. So, you're pretty much only going to deal with people trying to shoot at your sentry when they push with Uber. Usually coming through here, through choke, or through upper with the demo man, and they'll start spamming at it, there. At that point, your job is pretty much just tank the sentry as much as possible and not die yourself. It's when you really want to watch for the spy if you know he hasn't died recently, because he'll usually go for sap or whatever then, and it's much, much more difficult to deal with Uber if your gun is also sapped and you're having to fight the spy off as well. This does not always happen, but it is definitely something you always need to be aware of on defense. Up there, your main problem when they aren't actually pushing is that a soldier or sniper will get up into that little attic, the locker attic, and spam at you or try to headshot you or whatever. And that's your soldier's job mainly. Your demo can get up there and deal with stuff, or just spam from down there and get rid of them. Sentries in the area back here. The main issue is going to be things sneaking into this flank, usually the sniper with the various other flank classes. That just needs to be, first you need somebody watching this, and that just needs to be called as quickly as possible. It's super easy for your soldier or somebody to stand up here and then spam them out, or the demo to turn around and deal with them. Or your pyro to run over here and mouse one them or something. Your scout, since he doesn't have much to do on this point anyway. Honestly, that's kind of it. Like, it's very, very straightforward engineer map. Just build in the standard spots and get out and not die as much as possible. Let's talk about that teleporter spot, huh?
Yeah.
Need a different loadout. Do you want me to talk about wrenches at all?
Only if they're dependent on where the sentry is or something.
Alright, because you really only have 3 wrenches. You have the default stock wrench, jag, and the other bleeding thing that all build
Southern
level 3
Hospitality.
sentries and have... Yeah, that thing. And all have minute statistical differences between them. Gunslinger, which is its own thing. And then the Eureka effect. The first point on this map, if you're planning on building in the barn, it's a smart thing to do because it gives you a really easy out. As soon as the other team starts pushing, you just like wrangle the sentry and warp out and you'll be good. So I use it when I'm trying to do the build a teleporter on the second point strat. The reason you do this is because the second point is a much stronger hold than the first point, and it's a much longer walk from spawn to that point. So in general, it helps you better to have the teleporter up there. What I do is you get your soldier to whip you, go out this exit, put your exit here, or wherever else you want, grab that because you'll need it, drop back down here with your soldier still whipping you. Build the entrance, and then go back to spawn. Except this doesn't work because of the soap DM.
Soap DM, yeah.
You do it right, you go back into your spawn, and then just walk up to the point. And if you do it like that, as quick as you possibly can, getting whipped and all, you have plenty of time to build up a level 3 sentry and a dispenser and upgrade it significantly. Even with the pro version of this map, the setup time on this map is pretty long, and you've got a ton of metal down here. Like, I can do that, build the teleporter up there, come back here, and build a level 3 sentry and a dispenser up here, and I don't even need suicides, and then the gates open and the round starts. So, offense.
I think I did it once, like, I timed it with somebody, and, like, if you went all the way back, even if you just whipped your way back instead of teleporting back, you still had at least you always had a level 2 dispenser at least.
That's pretty ridiculous. Probably don't need the Eureka effect.
Yeah, you actually don't, because I tried it without, and you only save about a second.
Yeah. If you don't want to do that, that facilitates building out here more, because then you have buildings that you don't need the Eureka effect to escape to live from. So offense is fairly standard too. You're just the designated cart pusher along with the scout. When the gates open, there will usually be stickies around the cart. Over here somewhere. Here's a fairly common trap. Just want to not instantly die to them. If you know where the trap is and it's like something obvious, you can quick equip the short circuit, zap them, and then go back into spawn and switch back and be about your business. Or wait until your next death, whatever. Kind of like using the short circuit on this map in general because most of the points that you push through are pretty choke pointy. And if you can keep any of the spam off the cart, that, you know, just helps you push and helps you live, The only problem is if you're dealing with like a scout or spy or something as well as a soldier or demo on the cart, because then you will have to choose between fighting them or dying to spam. That doesn't end well either way, but that's what happens when you take 1v2s, I guess. So you come out here. You can put a sentry up here. This mini sentry, of course, since you're on offense. This will more or less keep this whole area clear, like the scout can't run through here, the soldier has a much harder time bombing. And apart from the sniper being like in a close-up spot, you can pretty much freely push the cart all the way up to about here, oftentimes here, without really being contested. Most of the heavy work goes to your heavy classes on payload. It's mostly just following behind and making sure the cart gets pushed, making sure you build teleporters, and cleaning up a little bit of damage, and making sure like the spy isn't completely destroying your team. Like I said last time, that engineer's a good class for dealing with the spy, and it's just because you don't have too much else that you need to be focusing on. Your main job is to build buildings, and once they're up, you can pretty much ignore them until somebody starts damaging them. Once you get into here, yeah, sentry up there or over there. It's usually the sniper or the soldier hiding up. I think you can get up there. Or anywhere over here, really. It'll give you a hard time with capping this point, but usually you'll just do it after your team is, you know, up there and shooting at everybody else, and they're trying to back out to their next point. But here is when you want your first teleporter. You should, if you didn't drop an entrance right away at the start of the round, you can go back. It's not that long of a walk, but it saves time. Especially since if they get a good hold on this point, they can hold it for quite a long while. Here, somewhere around here is a good spot. I should mention, if your team, if they're still backing out or whatever, and you're not helping push the cart or whatever, you can come up here and then drop a mini sentry up here, and this, again, keep the whole yard clear from people, lighter classes trying to contest you. So, tele spot over there is alright. Do like over here or something if you really want. Or over here. The other team generally won't be peeking at you. I think I've used over here as a spot before. Which pretty much lets people get up here for free. You want to watch out if there's like a sniper back there, because anybody who tries to run from that teleporter over to like this side will walk through the sightline. This corner is just going to be a horrible spam fest, and there's not much you can do about that until your team gets a better hold here. Apart from like walk back here and put a mini sentry up. Start building a dispenser like around here. This pack over here, here, over here, somewhere like that, depending on how much space you're given. This thing, of course, has the weird spin cap time thing on it. When you can't push the cart, well, it does its thing and opens up that door, and I think these doors that are usually down here. And while you're doing that, if your team has got a pretty good hold here, you should run up and like drop a mini sentry like down here or somewhere. Up here is good because it pretty much prevents people from being anywhere in this area. It's a bit less risky than the others. So the actual point is capped. You can try to poke at them a little bit. Again, this is an indoor spammy choke point sort of thing. If you can get a mini sentry up here without anybody noticing, because like they're focused on people down here and Uber coming in, you can just shoot at the gun, shoot at other people standing up here. And once it's up, it's, you know, pretty annoying to have to deal with. To do it faster, you want to start building it here, and then once it's completely, pick it up and then move it over here, because that gives you a couple of seconds of extra time, and it gives them less time to deal with it before it's up and you can wrangle it. Once you have this point capped, you get the next forward spawn. And it is very important that you have a teleporter up here. You can put it here. Put it up there. It's easier to just walk through spawn if you want to put it up there. I tend to prefer that one just because the spy has a harder time getting up to it because he has to do that jumping thing and people might notice him. And because when your team spawns, they will generally spawn in the upper area, and we'll see that teleporter first. Don't necessarily have to build one for pushing the third point. Reason being, the only really useful spot to put it is in this house somewhere, because anywhere else will be a big risk to the people who are, your team who are taking it. Because you'll have the snipers and the team spamming with stuff, and this whole area will basically be under your control. The main thing is just to have that teleport up, because you're really going to need it pushing last. Up here. Good spot to put the exit. Or somewhere up here. What you want to do after that, like, kind of depends on where they're holding and how your team is approaching it. Like, just go take the space that you're given and do stuff. Sometimes I would like to just sneak over here and then drop a mini sentry here and then wrangle it at them. But, you know, it harasses the sniper, it harasses everything that's in the sightline. And usually your sniper will want to come over here and start sniping from it, so if you can protect him at all in this point, that's pretty good. This is a pretty good sightline snipery point. Your team pushes in with Uber to take care of a sentry over here. I like to come and be on top, and then put a mini sentry somewhere on this platform. It just, you know, it clears up the cart track for you to push on it, and keeps more people out of the way. And if your team's Uber goes badly, when they back out, the other team will have to deal with a mini sentry if they want to chase. The house, if you can get in there, it's just kind of difficult as engineers, since you need to pretty much run over here. Can go up and all the way. You get a mini sentry up here, and you can shoot at that gun spot down there. And shoot at this whole area. You need to wrangle it for that to actually work, but it's pretty effective. It's just hard to get set up. Same thing here, kind of, but it's easier then for notice and to deal with you, because it's easier for the other classes to just walk up here and shoot at you. I don't think I have ever actually managed to get over here on offense on this map, so some of it. Otherwise, if you see people need on the cart, get on it, because they'll just need to push forward and take it. The ideal way to approach the last point on this map is to kill half their team while taking the third point, and then get in here as soon as possible and spawn camp them until the cart's capped and you win. Just because it's much, much harder to push, and you never want to stop if that's possible. Part of the reason this last point is so hard to push is because you don't get another forward spawn after capping the third point. You have a really, really long walk with no shortcuts or anything. So, like, this walk is like almost the time it takes you to respawn and walk back to this point is like Red's respawn time. So if you're trading 1-1 trades, it's almost like it doesn't matter like it would on any other payload map. And if the other team knows it and their spy is smart, he will be sapping it at every chance he gets. means sometimes you'll have to move the teleporter around a lot. Once you get in here, you drop down a mini sentry to secure the whole area, and then you just build the teleporter as quickly as possible. Personal favorite spot. It's either here or up here. You could put it over here, but you take fall damage when you go through this drop down. And if you go through that one, you won't. You want to funnel your team to the place where they will not be dumb and take fall damage. There's spots. Here's alright, you got the metal to build with. Very nice. Just like the one up there. One can be a bit of a problem if the other team pushes out because their sniper gets to be like here. They can camp it, or their soldier can rocket jump over here and destroy it or something. Here, another spot. This one's okay, not so good because of the whole flank thing, but it's close. Here, or over here is another one I like. It's a little riskier, especially over here. It's a little bit further back to deal with the spy, and sometimes you'll put it right on top of the metal and not be able to pick the metal up. You want to get the cart to at least here before your team actually pushes into this point, because you want to get it as far as possible. If when you guys Uber in and the cart's still back here at this point, like the entire duration of their Uber, you're just going to spend pushing it through here, and you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of ground with that. It's kind of more important that you have people in here fighting and killing all the people on red once you guys can actually get in than it is to have people on the cart at first. But as soon as you see space, you need to hop right back on it and make sure it's ×3 until you win. Or I'll die, I guess. If you can get up here, quick mini sentry there, useful. Hop down here on the cart. You'll just move up somewhere else. Do you not think you can build up here? No. But you can up here. You just come into the choke. Put it down here. Or over here somewhere. You'd come in and put it like here. There's also this one. Typically don't come up through here. It's because I usually want to be near the cart. If you can. This is a fantastic spot. You can just kind of spam the sentries here. Pick this up, continue to spam them, and make them have to use all their ammo on mini sentries. If your team is spawn camping them, I'd say the sentry up here is a good one, because it's really easy to run through there and get it up there. And then you can wrangle it up at that spawn exit, and you can wrangle it down at this spawn exit, and just shut them out. I think that's mostly it. Oh, and don't be afraid to like be the one who suicides on the cart just to keep time on it. Because for the most part, your life isn't super important. You're not really needed to push. And apart from keeping the buildings up, which work even if you're dead, you don't have a whole lot to do. The only thing about you dying is sometimes the spy will take that opportunity to sap everything for free. But that's the only real risk, unless a lot of people on your team are dead already. You don't want to be bleeding. It's more or less it. It's engineer and payload. It is straightforward and not terribly interesting, and what you mainly want to do is just have a good, solid performance that helps delay the card on defense and push it on offense than anything else. You can ever actually get around the other team on offense, which is extremely unlikely on most payload maps, especially this one. It's really choke pointy and hard to do. Building like sentries and stuff behind can really screw up their retreat, and it can also force them to have to take part of their team away from defending to go deal with you. A pretty big payoff for something, it's difficult to do, but if you can do it, there's little risk involved to you. I'll die, but whatever. Most good teams shouldn't let that happen, but, sometimes it will. But I think that's it. Questions?
Is the frontier justice ever viable on this map?
Frontier Justice. It's like my least favorite of the shotguns, Highlander. The main thing is that you have to actually be getting kills with a sentry to make it worthwhile. And then you have to be able to actually use those crits to do something useful. And I find that, that's a very, very situational thing, so it won't pay off half the time. It's more of a cough map sort of weapon, maybe 5 CP maps, if you want to do that. Gun defense, it's kind of dumb because if you're using the shotgun at all, you want to just have as many shots as possible to kill things. Because mostly what you'll be killing is the spy. And on offense, you're usually not going to be in a position to either capitalize on or get kills that you need to actually get crits in the first place. They could probably get away with using the metal gun, the Widowmaker, on offense just because you can use the cart.
Medic!
Could try it. Just don't think it would be particularly effective compared to what other things you could do. Right. This is Barnblitz, aka Defend Blast the map. Very good. You still here, Maddie?
Yes.
Think I missed anything?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. The end.